This time, let's talk about lands, okay? So the Ministry of Lands has launched this new platform. Yeah, Land Information Management System. It was launched by the president the day before yesterday. Yesterday, we have seen stories that about 6,000 people in Nairobi went ahead to, get into the system. CT, you have some couple of concerns. We have heard even from our listeners a couple of concerns. Those who are speaking yesterday to the journalists were saying, all right, system challenges, system hiccups, those things, teething problems. This is Kenya.
It's not even just Kenya. There were bound to be teething problems. Okay? And as you correctly pointed out earlier, even the users were bound to have issues just trying to get their heads around how to actually understand this system and how to make it work for them. But even when they understand it, when you have a new system, before it's been tested real time with real people, with a real life situation, it must have hiccups. There is no system that is initiated and just works swimmingly from day one. My beef was, whether it was the reporting, whether it was the truth, it was being presented as this one thing that is going to cure all the ills that we've associated the Ministry of Lands with. It will do away with corruption. It will do away with cartels. But even more importantly, it will transfuse all the people who work in that ministry with new blood, so that all the evil thoughts that they've had and the evil thinking and the machinations they've had will disappear. And I would say that is not possible.
One thing I can tell you for sure is that it will not remove the emotional attachment that Kenyans have to land.
It can't.
It will not. And so there'll still be these very many issues because of the emotional attachment that people have on land. But let's bring in an expert who has dealt with matters of land in the country for very many years. In fact, a part of the team that spearheaded reforms in the land sector. And let's hear what he thinks about this particular Ardhi system. Dr. Mwenda Makathimo is a land governance expert. He joins us now on the line. Good morning, Dr. Harry.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good to have you on the show again. Welcome to the Situation Room.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy to be here too.
So you knew that the system was being developed, the Ardhi. I mean, you play in this sector. Once it was launched, and once you saw, the kind of uptake that it's been having, what's your immediate reaction or feeling about the Ardhi system?
Well, first of all, Eric, I want to say that this is a move in the right direction. This country has been waiting for an automated land information system for over 30 years because we've had problems with the manual system, and we have very many forced tasks. We have had several cabinet secretaries saying they have automated land system every time they close the registries, but all they were doing is scanning documents and putting them in computer, standalone computers. That is not automation. So for the first time, at least we have a system that is close to a good platform for land administration system. So at least this is a step in the right direction. A system at least that is managing transactions, and a system that is at least managing documents in a manner that can be tracked and that reduces the face-to-face interaction. So for once we have a system, whether it is perfect or not is another question.
You've said you've emphasized on that system. At least we have a system, but I'm almost hearing you in the background saying, well, is it going to be difficult to manage this system since it's still human beings behind it? What would it take to have this system run efficiently and then remove some of the ghosts of the past that have bedeviled this ministry?
Okay, first of all, because there has been the design stage, and there are still some issues at the design stage that need to be sorted first. For instance, the way the system is designed as of now, it is designed along the department of the Ministry of Lands. If you go to the services, you will find the Department of Lands and the services at the department. Whereas land governance and land management in the country is not just based on the services and the department in the Ministry of Lands as it is now. There is the National Land Commission. You find in the system, the National Land Commission is listed as a department with only one function, land allocation. So that tells you the entire scope for the functions under the National Land Commission have not been designed to operate seamlessly in the system. The second is that land is managed not just at national level, it is managed also at the devolved level, at the county level. And the management at the county level is so intense because it is where development is controlled. It is where approvals are done. It is where taxation or rates, property rates are collected. And therefore, it is important that that system integrates with the system of land management that is going to service the county. So there has to be deliberate created modules that run the services at the county or connect to what the counties have developed, either the GIS systems at the counties or there are other enterprise management systems for development control and approval at the counties. Then also, there are other agencies that deal with land and spatial information. That is very, very important. For instance, you have the National Highways Authorities that always acquire land and they assess land called Kenan. And then you have the TRACO that deals with the transmission of power lines, and they have waves and easements everywhere. So they have affected land rights in many places. You have the Civil Aviation Authority that controls what you can do on certain pieces of land in terms of controlling the airlines and the height of buildings. So the interconnectivity and the interaction, the integration with these agencies and these services is what will make it a wholesome system. Then the people side. If you maintain the same people who are running away with physical files, and I expect them to be different, then you have a problem. So how have they been changed? Are there new people manning the system? Where is the attitude change? Then again, the system must provide the full interface with private players who deal with land. I just logged in yesterday. I'm a registered valuer, and I did not find any place for a registered valuer to register. Those who deal with mass transactions, for instance, if I'm doing a valuation for award scheme, where will I go parcel by parcel to look for the information? I need information that is higher and in a more efficient manner. For instance, for our own region, I need to have that facility as a practitioner, and I need that enabled. So we have a long way to go. I also tried it yesterday with a property where I've done some leasing. And it was saying the property is not existent, and yet it's a real property where I sit. So what we are trying to say is that the system must also be spatially enabled and capture the development, the real life development. And to get to this, you have to build a robust national spatial data infrastructure. So it's not just a document and transaction management system. What we have, I would say, is very good in the transaction management, but you have to go beyond transaction management to build a robust national spatial data infrastructure that integrates all the stakeholders.
But as I hear this, as I hear you say all these things, Dr. Makathimo, I'm wondering, was there stakeholder engagement in the development of this system? People such as yourselves, did you participate at any point in the development, in the design of the system?
Well, I did not participate in the design, but I would say there was a stakeholder invitations in February, and the invitation was mainly to demonstrate, not to seek to design.
So there it was after design.
Yes, it was after design, not prior to design. Okay, there was a task force that went around 2 years ago collecting information from the country, but then after that task force collected information, the report was not released for interrogation. And then, of course, designing a system takes not just stakeholder meetings the way they are arranged in Kenya. This is where you say civil society comes, the private sector. It takes looking at best brains and takes look at expert interrogation, expert testing, expert input properly. So if you do it in secrecy, then you're bound to face these challenges. But these concepts I'm speaking about are not new. They have been discussed. There has been even a plan before, about 10 years ago, on spatial data infrastructure establishment. Only that sometimes our government acts as if the memory has lapsed sometimes. I don't know why. You get very quality input, and it is shelved. Then another regime comes, speaks, and starts again. And we have ended up wasting a lot of resources before, claiming it is automation. When you are documents all over the registry, Eldoret, Nakuru, any part of this country, but they were just scanning. If you scan one document and a transaction is done the next day and the document changes, you have done an exercise in utility. That's why at least I appreciate that this time round there is a step in the right direction. It is not perfect, but I appreciate at least this step is a good step. All they need to do now is make sure that the steps they have missed in the seeking expertise in design, in seeking to make this integrated, is now taken care of in a sincere manner and in an open manner. Let it not be done like it is a secret. I mean, there is nothing secret about property. Land information management systems. They are all over the world. So
okay. I like what you've said.
The cartels,
yes,
but professionals are not cartels. They can harness the resources.
Okay, you say they're all over the world. So I want to share your positivity, but I'd like to perhaps understand one or two things. One, in terms of systems, as systems go and knowing our needs as a country, was this the best system that we could have gotten? That's number one. Number two, because it costs us something, is it the best we could have gotten for what we paid for it?
Well, from what I understand, it has been developed internally by Kenyan experts, and it's not sourced from another country. And one thing I am happy about is sometimes when you depend on other countries and private companies to give you solutions, then you are at their mercy. So I agree that a home-based solution is good. As to the cost implications, that has not been disclosed. It's a question of transparency. That has not been disclosed, but at least I am confident that we have designers, we have software experts, we have IT experts who can develop good systems in this country. And now that it is homegrown, I am much better. In fact, it's more secure because you can go and buy off-the-shelf systems that are suited to other countries and that do not reflect their social and other legal efficacy. So we are happy that it is developed here by our experts. So as far as that is concerned, I think that's a good move in part of government.
I agree with you, but is it in the public domain? Do we know who these experts were? Do we know what their background is? Do we know what it is that they've done which is similar to what we already have so that we can laud and appreciate it?
Well, I am only banking on the statement of the cabinet secretary. I am not sure who they are, but the cabinet secretary rightly says that they are Kenyans that they have not sourced from out. And anyway, we know land information software developers worldwide, and from an expert point of view, we would have picked it if it was sourced from outside.
City, why does it matter?
It matters very, very much because, you see, if you are telling us that you are building consensus on the confidence which you would have in this system, then it behoves you to tell us everything about it. Tell us, this is the process that we followed. These are the people who are involved. Look, let's look at the Building Bridges initiative. That's also a system, okay? We know the people who are involved in it. We know the process that they talked about. So you have some knowledge. So even when you want to poke holes into it and you want to shoot it in whatever direction, you have knowledge. But this one, we have system, solving all problems, okay?
Yeah.
I think you get where I'm going with this, Daktari.
Yes. I get, well, the process management needs to be more transparent. And then also, you know, when I listened to the cabinet secretary saying that there are some properties that are in the system and others not in the system. What was the rush to launch a system that doesn't have properties in a whole central registry? So we have, she said the properties in the Nairobi registry are in the system, but properties in the central registry are not in the system. So what was the rush? If we are building it and we are building it in a sustainable manner, why don't we integrate all the properties for Nairobi? Because again, you know, when it was being launched, we were told, and tomorrow we will not accept paper.
Yep.
But then if you have a whole registry, properties in a whole registry not seen, and you're not, then how do you transact if they are not seen, you're not accepting paper? What will happen to the transactions in those properties? You know, property development and use is a continuous thing. It's an industry. So it means you will stay all those transactions because you are not allowing manual and you have not automated. So why wouldn't they have waited to have all of them in so that then when they say we have migrated, they migrate for sure.
Do you see this as a tool that will actually curb and curtail fraud and corruption? Do you see that happening? I mean, from your dealings there and then something like this, would it cut it out?
Yes. If the system works as as envisaged and works efficiently, for sure it will eliminate brokers. Once it eliminates brokers, a lot of irregularities will be eliminated. Then when you reduce the human interface, the face-to-face interaction, again, of course, it helps. Look at how KRA has benefited by having an automated system. But of course, that doesn't mean fraud cannot happen. You've seen people even colluding from the office and outside people colluding to rob KRA money. The same thing can happen. Those inside, if they don't have integrity, can collude with those outside again. The issue that we need to worry about more is also the awareness of the users. Because before I registered in that system yesterday, before you register, you have about 6-7 steps. Now, if you have an illiterate person or somebody who is not IT savvy or not even an expert, you will have to depend on other people to be registered. Now, if those people do not mean well, they can easily interfere with transactions. So that needs to be addressed so that the education of users countrywide is in place.
And that's very, very important. Thank you very much, Dr. Mwenda Makathimo, for this conversation today. We hope to have you again soon. Dr. Mwenda Makathimo is a land governance expert. He's been in this field for a long time. He understands land reforms in the country. Daktari, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.